Good morning. Alright, what do we got here this morning? Let's go with... I'll go with this one. Throwing the guy around like that. That's pretty good. Good morning, everybody. Let's get set up to get started. Get me a little bit closer there. There we go. Good morning. I think I know we're going to be working here. Good morning. What is going on over there? Is that his other arm somehow? One second, got ourselves a bot over there. Need to delete. There we go. And gone. Get it down there. Which is better anyway, right? Smooth traces, huh? Yeah, I'm doing some fighting figure studies. I think those would be good for me to do. So I got an image up in front of me, and using that as my reference. So up there, excuse me, tired this morning. I picked up a little bit of a cold or something. Yeah, hopefully. Good way to start the day, right? Have some little drawing. Alright, we got that guy there coming up over here. Got his arms wrapping around the other guy. A grip. Good morning. That in here. Alright, you go up there, over there. goes there. Alright. Alright, so that goes there, that goes down there, and that should be down here. Good, more people popping in. How are we doing? Making sure I get everything in their right place. Good, more people popping in. Alright. How are we doing for time? 17 minutes. Alright, not bad. Let's see, where are we at here? Alright, I think we got enough information on there. Alright, let's start, I guess here would be a good spot. Alright, arm. Good, more people popping in. How are we doing? Good morning. Something, right? So I don't know who any of these people are. I'm sure they're famous wrestlers or whatever, but never watched any UFC myself. Good morning. Where did I put the, there we go, rag. Got a little bit of paper in there. Good morning. let's see, we got thumb here. Good grip. Pulling around. Other hand there. They want to do more of these kind of complex setups. Alright. 8 o'clock, huh? Halfway there. Just thinking, because today's first day of the week, so I got class, obviously. Sounds like Adobe just to let me know they're updating my Creative Cloud. I appreciate them letting me know. Which reminds me, I need to cancel my personal account sometime. A little bit. I haven't used it as much recently. Well, recently in the sense of the last few years. I've mostly been using Blender, but also Nomad Sculpt. But I might go back to ZBrush. It kind of like they used to be independent company, right? So they started charging an annual rate for it when they sold to when Maxon bought them, became part of the Maxon library, and it's just kind of more than I want to spend a year. And I can get it relatively inexpensively as a professor. In fact, we found out there's recently a program for schools where if you have a certain number of seats, so licensed seats at the school with ZBrush or Maxon, you can get the whole library for all of your students for free. And so I kind of handed that off to our ZBrush guy at the university. And he's got that set up, so I'm just waiting to find out that mine's been approved. It's a bit of a complicated process they have. It's not very automated yet. I think they're just kind of growing it to see what happens. Make sure the legs are connected. But I do like ZBrush a lot. So, yeah, definitely recommend it. You can get the iPad one. I think is like $10 a month or something, which, relative to the full price of the Maxon library, that's not that bad. But you can also get Nomad Sculpt for like $15. So, and get its quad remesher for another $15, and that's a one-time payment. So there's that too. It's pretty easy to use. It's missing certain things that I wish a ZBrush had. I mean, it's missing certain things that ZBrush has, like IMM brushes and VDM brushes and things like that. But considering its cost and what you're getting with it, it's a pretty good deal, and it's easy to use. I probably would say no to that, easy, because I have a feeling that's just spam. So no, thank you. I'm not a big fan of phishing scams, personally. What can I say? Yeah, so I do like using Nomad Sculpt. I haven't used it as much lately because I haven't had a need for it specifically. But so yeah, butt hug, right? Throwing this guy down, just picked him up and throw him on the ground. So I don't imagine he's going to appreciate the tenderness of this this hug right here. Trying to keep things nice and straight with these lines as a technique. I like it. It does take. There's a learning curve. It's a big program. I mean, ZBrush takes learning curve too. That's kind of what it's famous or infamous for. But I like Blender. I've been playing around a lot with the grease pencil tool lately. A bunch of other things I want to do with it. There's just one of me, and that's kind of a problem. And yeah, I definitely recommend Blender. I mean, it's got sculpting in there, it's got modeling, it's got texture painting, it's got animation, it's got everything in it. That movie Flow, that's winning all kinds of awards. was done in it, and it used actually the simple rendering engine. So Blender has like this kind of, it's like a game rendering type engine called Eevee, and it's kind of like a live rendering system, so you don't have to wait for things to render typically very much. And the whole movie was done just using that engine called Flow. It's about a cat on a boat or something. I haven't seen it, but so definitely a very capable program, making a lot of waves since they updated it a few years ago. And I've been spending a bunch of time, and again, mostly using Grease Pencil right now. There's a bunch of other things I want to do as well. But yeah, definitely high level recommend there. So yeah, Flow. I've seen commercials for it. I haven't watched it. It doesn't, it's definitely a kids movie, but at least it looks like it. Well, it's like animals. They get stuck in a flood, and a cat survives on this boat, and then it kind of picks up friends along the way as they travel on this boat or something. Yeah, so I think it's up for an Oscar, maybe. Well, I think it's probably too soon for that, right? I don't remember when those happened exactly, but yeah, it's winning all kinds of awards. Made by this Latvian guy, and then they had like a small studio, I think in Riga, and then they had people kind of all over Europe working on it. Like, I've been to Riga. Um, Good morning, people popping in. All right. Alright. Let's get the brush out and fill in some of these shadows. All right. I have not done any 3D printing. It's something I'm curious about. I have access to them on campus, but I like to say is I'm a fan of 3D. I don't consider myself a professional at it to any degree. But I do need to go look into that because I want to. There's like 50 different things I need to look into, and that's on the list. But yeah, I've got I may be running into some complications with my schedule this spring too, with teaching. Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely want to look into it. You know, I've sculpted, a little bit. Yeah, I think it's not. It's supposed to be relatively inexpensive to do these days, even just like buy your own, right? Um, Yeah, so I've thought about getting one, but again, there's a lot of things on this. I did actually buy the original 3D pen on Kickstarter. I just pulled it out of the box the other day. My nieces all got ones for like Christmas or something, and so, um, but um, which is kind of fun. Never used it though. It's funny. I got it, and then I just never got around to actually using it for anything. Just kind of like you draw with these little plastic filaments or whatever. Yeah, I know there's like there's different types of the 3D printing. Yeah, I know. Well, you kind of draw with it. So you don't really. It's not like a printer. It's more of a. It's kind of like a hot glue gun, basically. Where you feed the filament in the back and it heats it up, and then you can kind of draw with it. Um, Back then, I would like I'd pull the trigger on a lot of different, because Kickstarter was new back then, and so I was like, oh, this is amazing! Look at this neat thing that somebody made, and where did I put my stylus down it? There it is, rolled away from me. Um, yeah, but you could build things out of 3D with it. Um, it's like I bought a bunch of stuff to do kit bashing with. I made a few things, and then I haven't had time for it. I should probably go back to it. I even bought like some of the styrene plastic sheets. In fact, I pulled those ships out the other day that I made with it. I bought a bunch of cheap model sets at Hobby Lobby a few years back. I guess it's been a few years now since I bought them. Time passes when you're having fun, right? Oh, almost an hour. Trying to pull out the white ink. But here's the kit bash things. Well, the ones that I really like anyway. But I still like collect parts that I could use in it. So like I made this little guy right here, little vehicle. These are some kind of lids for something. The body here is a what's it called? Floss container, and then these are like model parts and things on there. I just painted them gray, and then this is a different one. There, yeah, another floss container. But those are fun. I made those a couple years ago. I should write the date on them since it's been a while. But yeah, they're there's like the different plastics you get for them. There's a bunch of people on YouTube that do these like videos on how they make them. There's like a couple different kinds of glue that you want to get that'll work with it. I learned that when I by accident I was teaching this illustration class, and I had them kit bash some robots, and I just assumed that you'd use super glue because what do I know, right? I just figured that was what you used with it, and it turns out that you don't use super glue on plastics like that. Not if you want to hold together really well. Um, but yeah, I should pull that out. Actually, I have my desk kind of set up so that I can do that. So the camera above my desk, that's for like YouTube and Twitch and those other channels. It's set up so that if I were to rotate the desk down, because the desk is actually at an angle, so it's not flat. It's actually up at an angle, which is good for you, right? But if I wanted to do stuff like that, all I have to do is like lower the desk down, and I don't have to change anything. If you're looking for like a really good YouTube channel that does really great ZBrush stuff, there's always Chaos Masons, spelled Keos, and then Masons. So, yeah, I gotta touch this up and then see what's going on with my lessons. Feeling better. I think the medication kicked in. And plus, it's always nice to draw, right? That always makes me feel better anyway. So, good morning, everybody popping in. Alright, I think we are done for today. So thank you everybody that came in. I appreciate it. And we'll yell at you later. Oh, maybe what I should do is make sure I put the date on here. One of the things I kind of try to make a habit is making sure I put the date on things, because otherwise I forget when I do things. Is January really almost over? A general source. This is Pinterest ref. And it's not even AI. It's just it's a photograph. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll yell at you next time.